Hi guys, welcome back to Jane Talks. Last week was really interesting for a couple reasons. Um, I did some reading as well as thinking about anger and I guess what that does to us in general. And I found parts of me that I I need to do some work with. I'd like to do some work with. I'd like to change. And I'm really glad I had the opportunity to discuss it, and I feel like I learned something from it. I think that I remember my parents. Um, I can't think of the quotes. That there's lots of old little um, quotes and stuff like that that grandparents and stuff like that used to say about anger and everything. I remember one about the tongue, something about actually I think it came from the Bible. I think it was maybe like the tongue is an unruly member full of something and deadly poison. But it kind of goes like hand in hand with be careful what you say because you can't take words back, things like that. um, and I think that there's a time and place to say things. I think that there's a time and place to share, and I certainly think that there's a time and place to let some emotion show and to let some anger show. But one of the things that I liked about some of the conversations that I had in regards to anger is that it is and can be a constructive thing, in that as long as it doesn't hurt anybody, it can be a means to an end, meaning it can bring about an understanding and it can bring about action that can make positive changes in our lives or in the lives of those around us, if it's expressed appropriately. And one of the conversations that sticks in my mind the most is in regards to anger that comes from being unjustly treated, unfairly treated, anger that comes from situations that we literally have no control over and there's nothing fair about them. And I think what I learned the most from that conversation is that it all comes down to the only thing that I really have control of in my life is me and how I will react and respond to my life. And lately I've been really focused on thankfulness and gratitude, and I think that's a good thing because I feel like it's helping me be drawn back to a more spiritual side. I know it's always been there. I know I was raised with it, and I know that it's been a very difficult thing for me to sort my way through because of some of the instances that have happened in my life, to shake the very core and very foundation of who I am. But I'm really, I guess even though I feel kind of a little bit sober and kind of thoughtful, I feel like I have a peace and a gratitude for some of the things that happened last week, I guess because they've helped me move forward even more. They've helped me to realize that, you know what, I can, thinking back a little bit to what I just said about situations that happen that are beyond our control and they aren't fair, and they're not right by any means, but we have no control over them. And I was thinking, somebody made the comment to me that I need to forgive myself for my part in it. And it's interesting because in thinking about it, there's a part of me that rebels against that and figures like, but I didn't have a part in it. Like, I'm not to blame. And what really sticks out to me right there is that of course you're not to blame. Of course you're not. That didn't change the outcome. You tried. You said no. You said, oh, can we afford this? Is this a good way to handle this? But that's not the way it was handled. So from this vantage point, could I have changed the outcome? I could have maybe taken a greater stand myself, but what would have happened to me? What would have been the outcome? I don't know that. And so from this vantage point, all I can do is forgive myself as far as saying, you know what? That was not the way I wanted to handle that situation. And if I could go back, which I can't, if I could, I would not handle it that way anymore. I would refuse to be part of that circumstance. I would say, no, I will not do it. And whatever happened, happened. I can't change somebody else's actions. But I can certainly be in control of mine. And I think that's important for me. Another step in moving forward past some of the instances that have happened in the past, but some of them still affect the now. And that's okay. I read this morning, I know I've mentioned before about Demi Lovato's Staying Strong Thought for the Day book. I'm not sure if you can really see it or not, but I read this every morning. And this morning, I thought it really tied in with my talk here. The quote at the top was, honestly, have you ever been honest with yourself? And she says the goal is discover yourself and don't compromise your values. And I think that's a really hugely important part of growing up, learning, and moving forward after traumatic experiences. I guess I could in general say moving forward in life in general. The idea is, of course, to grow, right? I mean, as children, we aren't in the same spot as we are now. I mean, for me, I'm not the same person I was when I was 10 years old, or 18 years old when I got married, or 40 years old when I separated, or 43 that I am now. I'm not in the same spot. And that's okay. That's a good thing. And I've still got so much farther to go. So I think it's great that we have all these emotions because it means we're feeling something. And live and learn, I guess. I'm happy for all the experiences, and I'm truly grateful for the people in my life that are supporting me and encouraging me through it all. I feel truly blessed. Have a great week, everybody.